Welcome to the concept of purchasing. Purchasing is a function of procuring goods and services from sources external to the organization. Purchasing is the first phase of materials management. The object of purchase department is to arrange the supply of materials, spare parts or services or semi-finished goods required by the organization to produce the desired product from some agency or sources outside that of the organization. The purchased item should be of specified quality in desired quantity available at the prescribed time, most importantly at a competitive price. If we can quote the words of Alford and Beatty, they said purchasing is the procuring of materials, supplies, machines, tools and services required for equipment, maintenance and operations of a manufacturing plant. Thus, we can easily say that purchasing is an operation of market exploration to procure goods and services, as we have previously mentioned, of the desired quality, quantity, most importantly at a lower price or the lowest price, if we can say that, and most importantly at the desired time level. Supplier who can provide standard items at that competitive price generally are selected. Purchasing nowadays in an organization has become a kind of specialized function. It was previously experienced that by giving the purchase responsibility to a specialty, the firm or the organization can obtain greater economies in purchasing. Most importantly, the specialist who should be given the responsibility of purchasing is very much required, as purchasing involves more than 50% of that capital expenditure which is there with the organization. We can easily say the modern thinking of purchase management is that the essence of purchasing has become a strategic function for any manager, and most importantly any negligence in purchase management will ultimately result in the decrease of the profit, which in contrast traditionally it was regarded as one of the activity of the production management. Furthermore, we can easily say that purchasing can be subsequently divided into two broader categories: the larger purchases and the smaller purchases. The purchasing objectives are sometimes understood, as we have previously mentioned in the previous slide, that it is understood as buying materials at the right quality, of the right quality rather, in the right quantity, at the right time, should be delivered at the right place, most importantly from the right source and at a right price. These previous should I say quality, quantity, time, price and source is the broad generalization which indicates the scope of purchasing function. And the purchasing function involves certain amount of policy decisions and analysis of various alternative possibilities prior to their act of the main purchase. If we can go into certain kind of objectives of purchasing, they can easily be to pay reasonably low prices for the best value obtainable, negotiate and execute all the company commitments. Another objective of purchasing is that to keep the inventory as low as possible and maintaining the required level to never stop or hamper the effect of production. Another objective of purchasing is that to develop the satisfactory sources of supply and maintain good relationship from which the organization tries to procure. Most importantly, the sources of supply, we can easily say it to be the vendors. Good vendor performances basically includes the prompt deliveries and most importantly ensures the acceptable quality. Purchase management or purchase manager should be always looking out for new materials or products as and when they are required or immediately when they are available in the market. The purchase management looks forward to develop newer kind of procedures together with adequate control and the newer kind of purchasing policy if required to replace the older one. If a newer purchase policy or a new procedure of purchasing has been developed, it is the responsibility or the objective of the purchase management to deal or to compare it with the value analysis, cost analysis, or make or buy decision so that it generally reduces the cost of purchases. Another most important objective of the purchase management is to keep the top management informed of the material development which could affect the company profit or the performance of the organization for a given period of time. And most importantly, the last but the most important objective of purchase management is that they should be achieving a greater deal of cooperation and coordination with other departments in the organization for smooth operations and running of that particular purchase policy. The functions of purchase management can generally be subdivided into two broader categories. Those are the primary duties and the secondary duties. The primary duties of any purchase department is to locate, to select and develop the quality sources of supply. Most importantly, it should always focus on following up the pre-delivery and most importantly shorten up the chasing period. Another most important primary function of the purchase department is that scrutinizing the purchase incidents and deciding which method is the optimum one for the organization to purchase. If we go back to some of the secondary duties of purchase management, the secondary duties of purchase management is that arranging the discussions between the supplier's representative and the company officials who will be generally taking up the responsibility and the decision making, disposing of the surplus, obsolete and scrap materials so that the maintenance charge or the maintenance cost can come down subsequently, advising the certain decision maker as regards to the new materials, new products and forward buyings. In short, if we sum up the importance of purchasing function provides materials to the factory without which the manufacturing cannot even start. Most importantly, 1% even 1% saving in material cost is equivalent to a 10% increase in turnover, and only efficient purchasing can help the organization to achieve that. The importance of purchasing is that the purchase manager is the custodian or is the responsible person of the 50% of his company's earning, as he is spending that 50% of the organization's profit or earnings into purchasing activity. The another importance of purchasing is that increasing proportion of one's requirement are now bought instead of made, as was the practice of earlier days. So basically buying has become the more cheaper option. So the make or buy decision needs to be taken very well by the purchasing department. Most importantly, purchasing can contribute to the import substitution. People or organization do not always need to import if they can find out the right kind of substitution within the country itself. It saves a huge amount of foreign exchange. Materials management, basically which are there in the organization, have evolved out of the purchasing department. So purchasing department has created a certain kind of department called the materials management. So in short, we can see from this kind of previous stated facts that purchase management or purchasing department is one of the most important department in the entire organization. Scientific purchasing, however, is not the mere procurement of the needed materials at a lower price, but should be procured in a way that generally minimizes the overall cost of the product. To ensure the overall cost of the product minimizes at a certain way, scientific purchase is controlled by 5 well-known parameters, which we generally call the 5 R's of buying. The 5 R's of buying are generally the right quality, the right quantity, the right price, right time, and most importantly, the right source. If we now go into describing these kind of things, or the 5 R's of buying in a very short way, we can definitely say the right quality is, if we say, what do we mean by quality? Quality of a particular product is measured in the terms of its design, material, and most importantly, the kind of, the treatment or the manufacturing process, what kind of properties does they have. So basically, if we say that is the quality of the design and most importantly the quality of performance. So that particular thing, or the quality of design and the quality of performance, should be kept in mind before buying any material or any machine. Going back now to the right quantity. Right quantity, as we have previously mentioned, is one of the most important parameter in buying. The kind of quantity decisions we have previously talked about that in the EOQ and the replenishment methods, those are influenced by the replenishment methods or the buying methods. Replenishment methods, which we have talked about previously, as has the kind of things called reordering level, two-bin system, review system, which provides the kind of guideline for purchasing at the right quantity. If we certainly say that the maximum level and the minimum level, the kind of concept that we have of the maximum level and the minimum level, or the stock in hand, stock on pipeline, these are the kind of things we have talked about this in different kind of PPTs. You may refer to those PPTs while if you don't understand this kind of things. So we can talk about the certain kind of stock on hand, stock on pipeline, the reordering level generally gives us the kind of decision required for the quantity. And most importantly, the buying methods we will be coming back to it later on. Buying methods can be talked about as the hand to mouth buying, the scheduled buying, the forward buying, the contract buying. These kind of methods generally gives the organization an idea of the right kind of quantity. Right price. If we talk about right price does not mean the lowest price, but generally, as we have talked about, which minimizes the overall cost. Right price is very hard to determine. Negotiation, should I say, is one of the most important technique to find out the right kind of price. Negotiation can be made based on the price with the vendors. Negotiation can be made for the time available to make the purchase. These are the kind of things. The second technique which ensures right price is the tender system. This particular tender system helps the organization identify the lowest potential bidder from which we can buy that object. And most importantly, another technique is the learning curve technique. Learning curve technique is employed to determine the price of the items with high labor content. Keeping this negotiation, the tender system and the learning curve into aspect, we or the organizations can find out the right kind of price. Most importantly, if we have clearly talked about a certain concept called lead time in our previous PPTs, we can say right time and lead time are very closely related. Right time implies that time at which the goods are requested should be received within the organization, and lead time refers to that time that elapses between the communication of need of that item and when it is made available for the consumption. The buying department has the responsibility of developing the lead time information for all the items that they are buying and make it available to those concerned, mainly the one who are responsibility of using those materials, so that the, should I say, requirements are completed well in advance, and most importantly to avoid the need of the rush or the last minute purchases. Coming back to the last kind of R, that is the right source. Only the right source can give quality materials at right quantities. Right source, and to choose right source, maybe I'll refrain my sentence as choosing the right source requires decision as to what item should be purchased directly from the manufacturers, which items should be purchased from dealers, and most importantly which items should be purchased from open market. Right source also requires the analysis of the transportation cost along with the basic price to make a selection between a distant supplier and a local supplier. Coming back to the methods of buying. Here in this particular slide we will be looking forward to various kind of important methods of buying. If we start off with one of the most important method of buying, that is the hand to mouth buying. Hand to mouth buying is also called buying according to the requirement, which refers to the frequent purchases of an item in very small quantities. In hand to mouth buying, purchases are only made when the demand arises and only to cover up the immediate requirements. The quantity that is purchased is generally small, though at times large quantity may be purchased. The terms of contract are generally negotiated in case of hand-to-mouth method. Competitive bids are generally not obtained as there is no sufficient kind of time to arrange for those different kind of biddings. This is what we mean by the hand-to-mouth method. The advantages of basically the hand-to-mouth methods are the lower inventory. It ensures the lower inventory investment, has a low carrying charges, it reduces the deterioration and obsolescence of materials, and most importantly limits the loss from the price declines. But on the other hand, if we talk about certain disadvantages of these methods, disadvantages are generally, while obtaining the hand-to-mouth method, higher prices are generally done due to the urgencies and most importantly due to the loss of quantity discount. Basically, the organizations has to accept at a certain point of time certain substandard goods in case of emergency. Possible losses are also there by an upward jump of prices, and most importantly interruptions of production schedules can happen because of the shortage of materials at the time of requirement. So these are basically the disadvantages and advantages of hand-to-mouth method. Moving on to scheduled buying. Scheduled buying is the process of procuring an item in staggered deliveries according to the delivery schedule furnished to the supplier by the buyer. What does it mean? A purchase order covering annual requirement is generally placed with the supplier. The supplier is given the estimate of the procurement needs covering a mutually agreed period of time. It is a common practice in scheduled delivery to give a 2-3 months confirmed delivery schedule and 2-3 months of tentative delivery schedule. Fresh delivery schedules are given to the suppliers prior to the completion of the previous schedules. And most importantly, fresh schedules usually retains the confirmed schedule of the overlapping period, while it specifies confirmed as well as the tentative schedules of the next few periods. In scheduled buying, monthly deliveries are usually specified except for kind of perishable materials and for those materials which are required in large quantities of the organizations. The advantages of scheduled buying is basically both the buyer and the seller enjoys the savings resulting from regularity of production and very smaller inventory. Buyers is assured of supply of goods, while supplier is very much assured of conducting the business. Suppliers can effectively plan his factors of production, while buyer can plan his requirements of finances. Scheduled buying can be done basically for those kind of items which are of regular use to the organizations, which are produced to buyer's design and requiring long lead time. These are the kind of items generally which are bought for or buyed in scheduled buying. Coming back to market purchasing. Market purchasing, which is also called a forward buying, refers to the procurement of sufficient quantity of a particular item at a time when the price of that particular product is very low. Purchases under this method are made to cover production requirements for a considerable period. the quantity purchased is generally large, and most importantly, it is a method where negotiations are always applicable. The advantages of this method is it ensures the lower purchase price, gives a greater margin of profit on the finished goods, and most importantly provides security against any kind of shortages. But the disadvantages of this method is this kind of buying generally does not serve entirely the need of the production requirement. Inventory holding charges under this method are considerably very high, and most importantly the price expectation, if not realized, may result into the organization facing a major financial loss. Forward buying or market purchasing is usually done when the organization is buying non-perishable items, items which have a steady or regular consumption, any seasonal items since prices are low during the off season, and most importantly any kind of pre-budget purchasing. Coming back to the speculative buying method. Speculative buying refers to buying large quantities of an item when its price is low with the intention to sell the bulk of that item at a higher price for earning the certain kind of speculated profits. In this method, purchases are nowhere related to company's production program. Maybe it may be possible that the item which is not even required for production might be purchased by the organization. The only advantage of the speculative buying is that it gives a certain kind of profit earning to the organization, but its disadvantages are numerous, such as tying up large amount of capital, the kind of storage problems, it obtains the risk of obsolescence, and most importantly ruining the company's financial status if the prediction generally goes wrong. Moving on to contract buying. Contract buying are basically buying of all kind of items on contracts, but the term contract buying is applied to those special contracts which call for deferred delivery over the period of time. Contracts are given to suppliers for large amount of future requirements for a certain period. Quantity received per occasion generally is very less. The cycle time between two consecutive receipts may be varying from a fortnight to a month. This kind of buying generally helps the organization to save from the trouble of inviting quotation, preparing competitive statements, comparative statements, placing orders. All these kind of processes are not required in contract buying. The buyer's company is assured of regularity in supply despite of the market fluctuations, and most importantly the buyer needs to keep very little working stock and the safety stock. The kind of contracts that are there within the organizations are basically the rate contracts. Rate contracts are those kind of contracts where the rate is fixed, not the quantity. Another kind of contract basically is the running contract, where the rate and the quantity both are fixed for the contract period. And the other kind of contract is the service contract, where various services are obtained periodically. Last but not the least, let's go back to the tender buying. Generally, PSUs or public sector undertakings and the government departments in various country follow this kind of methods. The buying department establishes a bidders list and invite them to submit bids specifying the quantity, the price, the time, the material and the kind of service. Bids on receipt are evaluated by comparison and the right supplier is generally selected. Lowest price is the criterion used except when suppliers asking the lowest price has the questionable quality or the reliability. Tender buying is purchaser's most important single tool to select the qualified suppliers, and most importantly it eliminates the possibility of favoritism or personal references. Generally the kind of tenders that are there with the organization, those are the single tenders, which means the details of the requirements are communicated to one single form. Limited or closed tenders, which refers to the system of tendering wherein inquiry is sent to a limited number of suppliers who are on the approved list of suppliers. Open tender system is the system of tendering where in the inquiry is advertised in the newspapers or periodicals. And lastly, the global tender is the system of advertising it in the newspapers and trade journals not only of the home country but also of the foreign country. Apart from these methods of buying, there are certain methods like seasonal buying, the group purchasing and the subcontracting methods of buying. Centralized buying generally refers to the procurement of the requirement of all the departments of the farm by a central purchase organization. Centralized purchasing generally ensures the consistency in buying policy, since all the purchases and the purchase related decisions are taken by one single department. The economy in buying due to better bargaining of price and terms and conditions with vendors and the reduction of transport cost. Uniformity in purchase records, since one department handles all the kind of purchases. Lower inventory investment. Reduction in handling and storage costs can be affected as the centralization of receiving, inspection and storage. Most importantly, performance of the specialist functions. These are the kind of advantages which the centralized purchase system can have within an organization. Decentralized buying generally refers to the system of procuring the requirement of the different divisions by local buying sections, and the power has been distributed into different kind of departments, and each division or department is responsible for their buying. Decentralized purchasing can generally ensure the greater flexibility, as the individual buyers rapidly reacts to the changes in requirements in which they are professionally working. The close liaison between the local buyers and the respective decisions can be achieved, since they can render greater assistance to them by providing information of the probable prices, deliveries and performance of the items to the concerned departments. A local buyer under the decentralized system is under control of the senior executive, maybe of a senior executive of that particular division, and that executive can be held responsible for the production lost or the lesser quality of the product. So in decentralized purchasing, the accountability of a particular person generally increases a lot. So these are the concepts regarding to the centralized and the decentralized purchasing.